Welcome back to God is Alive. My name is Serena, and here I speak all about what it truly means to have a personal relationship with God. We have faith every day that we'll wake up tomorrow, so I want to start a fire in your heart to stop chasing the temporary things of this world and to put that same faith in God. So let's learn about God and learn to lean on God, because what's the worst that could happen? Welcome back to God is Alive. My name is Serena, and today I'm speaking about, are you falling into sin again? And the reason why I wanted to make this podcast today is because sometimes when life gets hectic, we can slacken our relationship with God, we can slacken our relationships with other people. And when we start to face temptation, God can begin to feel just so far away. When we're facing worry and anger and doubt and all of these things as we live our daily life, God just feels so far away. And so all of a sudden we don't feel so close to God anymore. We don't really read our Bibles like that anymore. We don't pray as much anymore. And I think in moments like this, when we notice ourselves falling into sin again, is to remember who God is, who his character is, what the truth really is. How he is aboundingly merciful. When we start to slip and fall, we have to remember the one that we stand firm on. We have to remember that the second we start to slip, it doesn't mean that we've lost our salvation. It doesn't mean that God is mad at you or anything like that. It means that we are being sanctified. There is a process of refining that God does with his children. And because of this process, we are going to fall. We are going to stumble. We are going to face temptation. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 16 says, "For the righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity." This verse right here, it reminds us that righteousness, being a child of God, it's not about never falling. It's about getting back up 7, 8, 9, 10, 100 times. And the reason I bring this verse up is because there's a difference between a willful rebellion and a spiritual struggle. There's a difference between someone struggling spiritually, like they actually want to grow closer to God, but find themselves dealing with temptation and struggling and facing that spiritual war that Paul talks about. And then there's a stubborn, willful rebellion, deciding to turn your heart away from God, deciding to turn your will away from his. That's different than struggling spiritually with temptation. So remember that there is a difference, and the fact that you are persevering, the fact that you are going through this spiritual struggle goes to show that you are a child of God to begin with. And so Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8 reminds us that grace doesn't have a quota. It says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, it is the gift of God." He's not upset or disgusted by your weakness. The moment he saved you, he knew this was going to happen. He always knew this was going to happen. Truth is, God loves us too much to keep us where we are. He wants us to grow. He wants us to be sanctified. He wants us to be made more like Christ. For example, conviction is one of the tools that he will use to build your discernment. Hey, maybe I should not be doing this thing. Hey, maybe I should go right instead of left, etc. Being saved, having salvation, it does not mean that we are not going to struggle. It means that we have Christ in the middle of the struggle. So if you're feeling the temptation to sin, number 1, that means you're human. Number 2, it means you're not alone. But don't stay in this feeling. Go to him, pray, tell him what you're feeling. Allow him to remind you of the truth in his presence. Allow him to remind you of the bigger picture. And remember not to beat yourself up. Remember not to condemn yourself. Remember to fill yourself with the love of him. The reason I really wanted to get on here and make this podcast is to really get it through your head that you're never too far gone. I feel like a lot of times Christians, believers, we like to play this game with ourselves. Like, oh, we sinned. Oh, I feel shame. I don't want to go to God now, and then it kind of turns into this cycle. And I'm saying don't let it turn into a cycle. I'm saying even if you feel like it, even if you did, don't let it affect your relationship with him at all. That is part of freedom. So whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're feeling, my honest suggestion to you would be to tell him. Talk to him like a best friend, talk to him like a therapist, a mentor, a teacher, because I think that's what he cares about the most, and it's relationship, it's personability. And if you feeling this temptation or doing this sin is what's going to keep you from going to him, that's exactly what he doesn't want. So never let it start to convince you that you're too far gone or that you can't go to him. Never forget the way he truly feels about you and how he will never stop chasing after you. He will never stop coming for you because he really loves you that much. And so thank you so much for tuning into today's podcast. This was my very first podcast in about a month. I graduated, so I actually need to update my description that says I'm a college student because I'm not. And that is really weird. That's really weird. I'm stepping into a new chapter of my life, and I'm making a bunch of podcasts on sin because I was reading in Romans and Ephesians and Proverbs, and there's a lot of verses in the Bible that talk about sin, but either way, I'm rambling. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for tuning in to the very end, and I hope I spoke something to you. So yeah, I love you so dearly, and today's song of the day is My God is Still the Same by Sanctus Real. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. As always, I'll talk to you again next time.